As you may have seen in my synchronized challenge videos, I have made multiple custom skins for Spyro and Cynder. What's fun about making custom skins for Dawn of the Dragon specifically, is that you get to reskin 2 playable dragons. Spyro can be one character while Cynder can be another. As for the past few months, I took the time to polish my skins and make a few additional ones before releasing them to you guys. All of the skins that I made so far are based on different versions of Spyro and Cynder, or different characters from within the Spyro games. There is no fan-made characters or crossovers in this video. Everything is still themed around Spyro characters from all 3 series.
See? It was only a matter of time.
Give me something more challenging.
First we have the upgraded versions of Spyro and Cynder. These were originally edited from the Wii textures of Spyro and Cynder, and I upscaled them myself in GIMP purely because I could not find the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 textures. And I was too much of an introvert to ask around. And any skin that I created is edited from my own upscaled Spyro and Cynder textures. Because after I've done all that effort to scale them up myself, I wasn't just gonna ditch them for the PlayStation 3 version. This way, any skin that came from me has a tiny personal touch on them. Other than scaling up, I also changed the color slightly, because Cynder deserves to be in her signature black color. And Spyro was a bit on the pinkish side in this game, so his purple color is a bit more convincing. I also included something that I only managed to succeed in my second attempt, and that's paw pads. They were ridiculously difficult to draw, because of how stretchy the textures are around the paws. But every dragon in Chrome has them, other than the Chronicler, who's cutscene exclusive. And Corrupted Cynder, even though Small Cynder has them. And the Elemental Dragon, because she is a walking particle. But now Dawn of the Dragon Spyro and Cynder gets to have paw pads too. And seriously, why did we never get a playable Dark Spyro and Dark Cynder? They were in this game. Oh well, I made my own. Problem solved. They of course can't use the ether element unless you give them the armor for it. But I did make the elements more purple and indigo for that matter. If you prefer not to have the element colors to be changed, you can get rid of the element folders. I also made an alternative Dark Spyro skin based on his design on the Game Boy version of the Eternal Night. You know, the one design modern Spyro games like so much.
Spyro, you must understand, when she was taken by Gaul, she was poisoned and corrupted, made to do the Dark Master's bidding.
What if Spyro was not a purple dragon? What if Cynder was never corrupted by darkness? They would have been a fire dragon and a wind dragon probably. Spyro's infamous for his fire breath in every game, and even in games where he gets more elements, he always learns fire first, except for Season of Flame for plot reasons. And don't tell me the crest he has in Chrome doesn't give you fire vibes. As for Cynder, she has dark elements, while wind stands out a lot. It was somewhat confirmed by concept artist Jared Pullen that she was originally a wind dragon, and I like that theory. But that doesn't mean it has to be canon. After all, it's never confirmed in the games. Since I couldn't make up what design I wanted for Wind Cynder, I made one that's more faithful to her main design, and one that's a bit of a fan favorite, where she's white with a teal belly. I don't know who originally came up with this design idea, but I've seen this from multiple artists, and I love it so much that I wanted to include it as a skin.
She is just like me.
What do you call these? Color swap? Model swap? Species swap? Fusions? You can call them anything but Spyro and Cynder, because then we'll have a debate on which one is Spyro and which one is Cynder. Therefore, I have given them the names Cyro and Spynder. Cyro is the black dragon and Spynder is the purple dragon. I also swapped their elements because I'm evil. To myself. Which one is Earth? Which one is Earth? Other Cynder reskins with Spyro's elements will have the same elemental swaps. Oh, Skylanders. Love it or hate it. I'm somewhat in the middle. I can praise it as much as I can complain about the games. Anyway, Spyro and Cynder have a different design and that's enough reason to include them as skins. I also tried to turn the elements into the Skylander elements. Both games have fire, earth and wind, so they were obvious matches. Ice elementals do exist and they are always categorized as a water elemental. Both poison and life are plant-like, so I matched those. Ether became magic because Spyro is a magic elemental. The rest were a bit tricky. Skylander Cynder is an undead elemental, but I couldn't decide whether I should change her fear or shadow into undead. The Shadow Dash is obviously close to shadow. I mean, it's in the name. And the shadow claws are similar to the ghosts she's spawning. But I guess in a way I can see the fear element being the same as undead. Ghosts are scary. The secondary attack of fear is called Phantom Fright. And on the DS version of Dawn of the Dragon, the fear element has a skeleton for an icon. Seem familiar? I also have a headcanon that Spectral Lightning is a variant of the fear element. The same way how there's multiple variants of Spyro's elements. He knows Earth in every game and it looks different every time. And lightning is a common fear for both humans and animals. As well, every time I try to swap Spyro's elements for Cynder's, somehow electric always becomes fear and the other way around. Maybe because they're both loud, scary, not solid and almost unseen? So maybe Skylander Cynder is an undead aka fear dragon that knows the shadow element, the same way how Spyro is a magic dragon that knows fire and ice. Or ignore all the takes I just made, because the real reason is that if shadow became undead, what of the remaining elements is gonna fit fear? So I have turned shadow into darkness. And electricity became light because they both make light. I know light and darkness are supposed to be rare, special elements and the dark ether is probably more fitting for darkness. But come on, Spyro's ether had to become magic. And I have no idea where I throw tech into all of this. What I did for Cynder's dark ether is turn it into the chaos element. Okay, I'm not familiar with this element lore, but when I looked at the wiki, it says that the chaos element is all elements combined and that's pretty much what ether is, right? Plus chaos is a villain, so it fits with Cynder's darker elements and her being a former villain. Ember and Flame. They had to be included for being the first playable dragons other than Spyro. I've explained what their elements do in this synchronized challenge, so I'ma just recycle that part. Fire and ice remain unchanged. Electricity is purple. However, this time I did not turn earth into water. Water is now replacing air, which mirrors what Ghosty and I did in the Legends texture pack in A Hero's Tale. Earth is changed into lava because I picture Flame to be a more fiery dragon. I like to believe that this is the same element that Cynder uses in the first game. And then there's Ember, who has many element headcanons. Aside from water, I tried to turn Shadow into fire, based on her name being Ember, but unfortunately it always remains pitch black no matter what I do. So it's a smoke element now. Another detail about Ember is that her egg has a flower pattern. Could she be a flower dragon? In any case, poison is now a plant element. And last but not least, I've seen some people who gave her the love element, based on her pink color and the heart-shaped tail. Does it make sense for an element? No, but neither does fear. So fear has become love. I also never covered their fifth element in any of these videos. They're both somewhat light themed. In the whole trilogy, Flame has the laser element. Because he's red, which is usually the main color used for lasers. And lasers equal heat and light. And in A New Beginning and the Eternal Night, Ember has the love element. Eventually in Dawn of the Dragon, love became one of Ember's main elements. So I turned her fifth into rainbow. Because natural rainbows show up in the rain or near water, while flowers can come in all colors. And of course we wouldn't have rainbows if we didn't have light. I also made an Ember skin for Spyro because both Ember and Flame look closer to Spyro than they do to Cynder. And for that matter, there is a Flame skin for Cynder. So you can have every kind of pair with these 4 dragons in mind. Elements, fire, electricity and ice remain. They belong to Ember now. And water and smoke belong to Flame now. I did swap the poison and earth elements. That means Ember gets to keep her flower element. The whole reason why I gave her a flower element is because of her egg, and now she kinda turns into the egg. Kinda kept it as a joke, but surprisingly sorta fitting. We don't really have a pink element anyway. For Flame I turned poison into lava, because the poison element looks kind of liquid-like, and it works surprisingly well for lava element. And fear, like usual, became electricity, but it's purple this time.
Defend the temple!
Wanna see more Guardians in action? Ignitus, Voltaire, Cyril and Terrador are all covered too. In my opinion, Ignitus, Voltaire and Terrador are more fitting for the Spyro model, while Cyril is more fitting for Cynder. So when I tried to make my pairs, I chose Voltaire as the second Guardian for the Cynder model, because Cynder did take over the electric realm in New Beginning, and she is a bit of an electric dragon in Skylanders. But I can imagine that some people want to play as Voltaire and Cyril at the same time, or as Ignitus and Terrador. Originally I was gonna have Spyro be all Guardians, while Cynder was gonna be all forms of the Elemental Dragon. But the Guardians are more fun when paired with each other, and the Elemental Dragon would have been meh compared to them if it was just one form, because she's a bit of a nobody compared to the Guardians. And sure, I can see Spyro be all Guardians because he has their elements. As for Cynder, you can make up a reason why each of them can work as well. And whatever reason you have for your preferred pair, I have created every Guardian skin for both Spyro and Cynder. You will have the freedom to decide for yourself. Any Guardian skin for Cynder will also change one of their elements.
I haven't had any visitors in my solitude for over 1,000 years.
Shocker! Try getting rid of the psychedelic dragon outside.
And here's the Elemental Dragon, who obviously used the model of corrupted Cynder in the Eternal Night. So it was only fitting to make her a skin for Cynder, paired with none other than the Chronicler who probably created her. The Elemental Dragon comes in 4 forms, one of each of Spyro's elements. you have to manually change them yourself by going into the folders and prioritize one folder over the other. You can do that by either placing a Z at the start of the name or a 0, as in the number. It works different depending on what version of Dolphin you are using. Her elements are exactly the same as Spynder. You can use all of them no matter what elemental form. Or you can pretend only being able to use one element like I did.
Best friends belong together, even if one of them is purple and does have some weight issues.
Weight issues, huh? Well, at least I've never been turned into a lantern.
Sparx. He was gonna be included in the synchronized challenge, but I could not make up who to pair him up with. One of his parents might have worked, but his two parents already are a pair, so... But the Sparx skin is already finished, so I'll just include it into the downloads. I just got nothing for Cynder's model. This is also a brand new skin, Malefor. And I didn't know who to pair him up with except for himself. This is the final form he has in the DS version. I suppose being a purple dragon was an obvious match to Spyro. Well, this one looks like a dark version of Malefor, so he gets to have the dark elements. That's every skin I made so far. There is a chance that by the time this video gets older, more skins might have been created in the meantime, but I will probably not cover them in videos anymore and just put them up for download. Also, I am not the only one that creates custom skins for Dawn of the Dragon. In fact, FreezyTheDragon made a few. So if you're looking for more skins available for download, you should totally check him out. I'll leave a link in the description. Of course, with all these skins, you can create your own pairs. You can play as Chronicler and Ignitus, Ember and Cynder, Dark Spyro and Dark Malefor, every combination of Guardians, or even throw your own OC into the pair, or combine my skin with one of Freezy's. To combine them, you just have to take a look into the Dawn of the Dragon folder. You can take one folder from Spyro, for example Dark Spyro, and take one folder of Dark Malefor, place them into the Dawn of the Dragon texture folder, and load the texture, and you'll have Dark Spyro and Dark Malefor. I always keep a backup of every skin outside of the Dawn of the Dragon folder, so I can include and remove anything at any time. If you want to use my skins for other things that includes the Dawn of the Dragon Spyro and Cynder model, like for example Source Filmmaker, I'm fine with that. I don't need full credit since I didn't make these textures from scratch, but I want to be credited as the person who edited the textures. I've spent quite some time creating some of these. Download links of these skins are in the description. And have fun! Have a nice day!